breaking news coming in from Delhi, where the cloud seeding trial, remember this was to target and to deal with the pollution over the national capital region. Now the cloud seeding trial has finally happened. This will be stimulating rainfall in Delhi, and the plane that conducted the exercise has now returned to Kanpur, is what NDTV has learned. The city, remember, has been choking under a blanket of toxic smog, and it has been the situation since Diwali. The Delhi government has been talking about cloud seeding in a way as a means to target this pollution. However, sources say rain is not expected before 5 p.m. So that cloud seeding has finally taken place. Well, let's go across to Ishika now for more. And Ishika, so finally, this has been touted as a big, solution or a way to combat air pollution. But finally, this cloud seeding experiment taking place in Delhi, though I have to say Delhi was already cloudy this morning.
It is one of the historic days, is what we can say, because the cloud seeding has finally happened in the national capital. And if we talk about, there are various areas where this cloud seeding has taken place. If we talk about Khepra, if we talk about Mayur Vihar, if we talk about Sarakpur, these are, and in fact even in Bhojpur, these are the places where the cloud seeding has happened. Now, all that is awaited is the artificial rain, and the sources tell us that these artificial rain can happen anytime between 15 minutes to 4 hours is what we are expecting. So Delhi is awaiting to see the very first artificial rain here. Also, in fact, let me tell you that the Delhi government is currently monitoring the entire process. It was in fact, the aircraft, the Cessna aircraft, which took off from Kanpur at around 12:15, and then it came to Meerut after getting the green signal, and then after that the cloud seeding was done, and it is in fact it has returned to Meerut. So certainly government now in fact monitoring the entire process to see that how successful it will happen. We're expecting drizzling to happen anytime between 15 minutes to 4 hours, but experts are telling us that it is going to take time, and around 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. is when we can see these rainfall as per the environmentalist here. But let me tell you that, when you see the air quality index, it has been oscillating from very poor to very poor category after Diwali. So it is, remains to be seen that how beneficial it will be from the side of the government, and how successful it will be in curbing the pollution level and giving some kind of respite to the residents of the national capital here.
Same. All right, thanks so much for that. Let's just listen into what Majinder Singh sees as somebody who's been, the Delhi minister who's been talking a lot about the cloud seeding experiment, what he had to say.
आज दूसरी ट्रायल क्लाउड सीडिंग की दिल्ली में की गई। ये क्लाउड सीडिंग सेस्ना एयरक्राफ्ट के माध्यम से आईआईटी कानपुर ने की। एयरक्राफ्ट मेरठ के तरफ से दिल्ली में एंटर किया, जिसमें खेखरा, बुरारी, नॉर्थ करोलबाग, मयूर विहार, सादकपुर और भोजपुर, इस इलाकों के अंदर क्लाउड सीडिंग की गई। क्लाउड सीडिंग में 8 फ्लेयर्स को यूज किया गया है। एक फ्लेयर लगभग 2 से 2.5 kg के आसपास है, और एक फ्लेयर 2 से 2.5 मिनट तक ये चलती है। इस फ्लेयर से क्लाउड्स के अंदर जो कंटेंट है उसको छोड़ा गया। उस मिक्सचर से क्लाउड्स की जो अभी जानकारी आईआईटी कानपुर ने दी है, वो 15 से 20% उसके अंदर ह्यूमिडिटी थी। मौसम विभाग के मुताबिक जो विंड्स हैं वो नॉर्थ की तरफ हैं, और ये दिल्ली, आउटर दिल्ली में कहीं पे भी जो है विंड्स के चलते बादल जाएंगे। आईआईटी कानपुर का मानना है कि ये बरसात 15 मिनट से लेके 4 घंटे के अंदर कभी भी हो सकती है, और कितनी भी हो सकती है।
Well, let's go across to Pallav Bagla also for more. And Pallav, you actually been on a plane that was, conducting this experiment. Tell us also why it's considered a little controversial. Not everybody is in favor of carrying out cloud seeding.
See, it's considered controversial for the simple reason. One, it's very expensive. Two, it is a kind of a band-aid solution. Usually it is done for making rain, but Delhi is attempting it to control air pollution, which is a very welcome thing. any which way you can control air pollution is a very welcome thing. But today, the moisture content in the clouds where the cloud seeding was done was between 15 and 20%, which is very low. And to expect heavy rainfall after such low moisture is not possible. So it is an attempt which has been made, a welcome attempt, expensive, but at the same time, experiments which have been done by the Ministry of Earth Sciences for large-scale cloud seeding, they have not resulted in giving us results which would be very conducive for large-scale use of cloud seeding for controlling air pollution or for making rain, at least in India. That's why it's considered controversial, but also the use of potassium iodide is a very controversial subject. Fortunately, the mixture which IIT Kanpur uses has mostly rock salt, common salt, and a very small percentage of potassium iodide. And they say their mixture is unique and they have had good results out of it.
Right, but as you said, Pallav, this is a sort of band-aid solution. It is not a long-term solution to really counter the problem that Delhi faces of pollution during the winter months. It's pollution all year round, actually, but it gets exceptionally bad during the winter months, which is why the Delhi government has been touting cloud seeding and creating this artificial rain as a means to counter the heavy pollution and the particulate matter that is in the air. Now, finally, this cloud seeding experiment has taken place in 5 parts of Delhi, 5 different areas, and the minister has said that you can expect that there will be some sort of rainfall in a few hours from now. But it's also controversial as well, and the Aam Aadmi Party is also hit out over this. Let's go across to Ishika for more on this. And Ishika, tell us more about what the Aam Aadmi Party has said. They've questioned it as well, though in the past they too had spoken about cloud seeding.
The politics over this has also now heated up because the government here says that this is the first trial of the cloud seeding that has happened, and there are many that we can expect. In fact, Manjinder Singh Sirsa, the environment minister in the Delhi government, going ahead and saying that you can expect, if the weather permits, another cloud seeding trial also in the national capital. So all eyes will be on that as well. But because of this, certainly the political blame game has in fact now intensified. Now this has happened because the Aam Aadmi Party has hit out at the BJP-led Delhi government, saying that this was a cloud seeding. In fact, was one of their brainchild, is what the Aam Aadmi Party now claiming, and going out to hit out that because the BJP, then in central government, in fact, did not give them permission to do so because of petty politics. So this is, the kind of what we can say, the credit game has now started. The politics only heating up because now the Aam Aadmi Party going on to say that why was the permission for this not given during the Aam Aadmi Party regime.
All right, so the politics really over credit, it seems, and the Aam Aadmi Party saying they too had spoken of it, as we remember that they too had spoken about, conducting this experiment to counter the pollution in Delhi, and at that time had not been allowed to do so. And the Delhi government, now the BJP government, wanting to take credit for conducting this experiment. And Pallav Bagla also still with us. Pallav, this credit war in a sense between a tussle between AAP and BJP, but at the same time, as you said, this does remain a controversial way to use to control pollution. We'll have to see how successful it is, and it's also a very expensive way, isn't it?
It is expensive, but trust me, the lungs of people in Delhi are far more costly, and the injury which happens to the lungs because of air pollution is very high. So any which way you can control air pollution is very welcome, and using cloud seeding and artificial rain to try and control air pollution is something which was attempted by China and Beijing during the Olympics, and they were quite successful in that. But ultimately, you need to control the sources of pollution. And China succeeded in controlling the sources of pollution, and they got rid of air pollution in Beijing. I think Delhi also needs to have a full-fledged control on the sources of air pollution, but having these stopgap band-aid solutions like putting on cloud seeding is welcome to bring down the air quality index a little lower for a few days, but it's not a long-term solution because the air quality will again go up, go bad as the pollution load increases.
That's right. Pallav, also, what are the fears, involved with cloud seeding? Can there be a situation where there's just too much rain caused by it?
It is, sometimes it happens, but it is not well known that it could cause flooding, but it can cause rain in areas which you don't want it to rain because you don't have control on the wind. You may seed it in Mayur Vihar, but it may rain in Burari. Right now it has been seeded in Delhi. I'm told there has been some very small amount of rain in Panipat and Karnal. Whether it is really because of this cloud seeding or not, it is very hard to assess because only a fine chemical analysis can differentiate between a natural rain and artificial rain. At the same time, one should say there is a western disturbance over Delhi and the northern areas of India, and that is likely to bring rain. That is what the India Meteorological Department has predicted for a while. So right now, the moisture content in the cloud over Delhi was only 15 to 20%, which is very low for any kind of artificial seeding and for rain creation. So I don't expect heavy rain to happen because of this cloud seeding, but an attempt has been made and a welcome attempt.
All right, so the first experiment with the cloud seeding and to cause artificial rain over Delhi. Let's go back to Ishika for more on the politics of it all. And Ishika, the Delhi government under AAP and now BJP has been under fire over the pollution level in the national capital region, and that is something that no solution has been found to. There's a whole lot of blame game that goes on, regarding neighboring states as well, and the issue of parali burning, and then of course its own local temperatures. But before I come to you, let's just listen into what AAP leader and former minister Saurabh Bhardwaj had to say.
देखिए, ये कृत्रिम वर्षा और क्लाउड सीडिंग के नाम पे बड़ा फर्जीवाड़ा कर रहे हैं। ये कहा जा सकता है कि भगवान इंद्र करेंगे वर्षा और दिल्ली सरकार करेगी खर्चा। नेचुरल रेन कल से आप देख सकते हैं कि छठ पूजा के दिन हो रही थी, अलग अलग जगह हल्की हल्की बारिश हुई है। तो इन्होंने कह दिया अब आज हम जो है नकली बारिश कराएंगे। अरे भाई, जब असली हो रही है तो तुम नकली क्यों कराओगे? दिवाली के अगले दिन इन्हें करानी थी, तब इन्होंने कराई नहीं। AQI मॉनिटर ये दिवाली की रात को बंद कर देते हैं, जनता के दबाव में खोलने पड़ते हैं, तो ये उसके ऊपर बारिश कराते हैं, उसके ऊपर ट्रक से जो है ये लोग जो है पूरा का पूरा ड्रिजलिंग कराते हैं।
All right, so let's go back to Ishika for more on the politics really over Delhi pollution. Ishika and Saurabh Bhardwaj talking about range of issues there. There has been a controversy over the pollution monitors being shut on Diwali night, and that's why in that key period after 10 p.m. There was no measurement of the air pollution levels in many parts of Delhi. That's what Saurabh Bhardwaj talking about. Also about spraying water near those air pollution measuring machines as a means to bring down the levels of air pollution data. And then finally, of course, talking about this artificial rain, the experiment that's taken place today.
Well, yes, in fact, Gargi, as you rightly mentioned, we have seen that the politics has already heated up because it is now the Aam Aadmi Party that has gone on, in fact, to attack the Delhi government. First, they, in fact, saying that, this was something that was already planned in the Aam Aadmi Party government, the previous Aam Aadmi Party government, but at that time, the central government did not, in fact, coordinate, or rather did not even give permission for that. And now we are seeing the statement that has come from the Aam Aadmi Party leader, Saurabh Bhardwaj, who are going on to say that, he alleges that there can be corruption that might be done here, and also going on to question the government over as to why, this cloud seeding, this entire process was delayed. But the answer that, in fact, so far we are getting from the government side is that they were awaiting the green signal from the IND, because for this entire process, what is the utmost requirement are the clouds. And for that, the IMD signal is something that the government was waiting for such a long time. And after they got it, that is why, they proceeded with it today. You can see, we have already the visuals also for our viewers to see. And the government here are going on to say that if it is successful, because we are expecting the artificial rains, Gargi, in about some hours from now, and the government is monitoring it. They are saying that if it becomes successful, they are going to plan it for long term as well. So Delhi will be able to see more and more artificial rain if today becomes a success, is what the Delhi government here are going on to say. Also, in fact, they are, Delhi government currently very optimistic of the fact that after this artificial rain happens, it will be able to bring down the pollution levels. Okay.
All right, Ishika, thanks so much for joining us with all those details. So, cloud seeding experiment over Delhi and politics there also taking place.